One thing that I think most gamers can definitely agree on these days is that there are so many great games to play, but such little bit of time to play them all. So for this video, I want to highlight 10 of the best short Nintendo Switch games to play when you're short on time. And the first one that I want to talk about is one that I own digitally because the physical copy is ridiculously expensive, but that game is A Short Hike. Now this game is such a breath of fresh air. It is such a fun game that you can knock out in just around 2 or 3 hours. Basically, you're trying to hike to the top of this mountain to be able to make a phone call to your mother as you're on vacation on this little island and these other little surrounding islands. Now you can do stuff in between, like play little mini games like volleyball. You can get on a little speedboat. But basically, it's kind of like a little small open world sandbox 3D platformer where you're trying to get to the top of the mountain by collecting other feathers, because the feathers give you more stamina to keep jumping up, climbing up, and then you can glide down because you get to play as a bird in this game. It is such a charming, fun, and actually heartfelt game. When I got to the ending of it, it actually did make me shed a single tear, and I'm not ashamed to admit that because, hey, I am a human being with emotions. The second game on this list is another great short game, but it also is another open world sandbox style game, and that game is SpongeBob SquarePants, the Patrick Star game. Now I picked this game up because, as you can see, I got it for just $20 and I used my $5 GameStop coupon on top of that to get it for even cheaper. And I have to say that this game is definitely not a perfect or not a polished game by any means. In fact, it is really janky, kind of sloppy, doesn't look great, but what I will say about it is that it is a fun time. Basically, it's a little sandbox of Bikini Bottom, and you can do all kind of fun stuff like pick up a bunch of balloons and float into the air, or press the button that makes Patrick fall asleep and he can roll around at really high speeds. You can even eat stuff and gather momentum to burp at NPCs and send them flying with your gas. I mean, it's just really wacky and silly, but there actually is some core content in here. You can do little missions, little platformer missions where you're getting collectibles or doing tasks for other characters like SpongeBob and Squidward. It is a really fun time, but to me, I don't even worry about beating this game at all. It's just a little open world sandbox game to have fun with. My kids really like it as well, so it is a good game that I could recommend for kids. Definitely a clean game, nothing too crazy about it. But if you're looking to actually do the content, according to the internet, how long to beat, it says you can beat this in around, I think, 4 to 6 hours. But if you're going for 100% completion, you can do that in about 8 hours. So it's definitely a good short game that I can recommend. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is a phenomenal 2D platformer, which a lot of people say is one of the best of all time. And I have to say that I do agree with them because as of right now, I am a couple levels into World 5. And there is only 6 worlds just to beat the main story. And I'm about 6 hours in this game. So this game can definitely be on the shorter side if you're looking to just play through the main story and beat it that way. Now, if you're going for all the collectibles and all that, now this game will take you significantly longer, and it can also take you significantly longer if you're not too good at challenging 2D platformers, because around World 5, the difficulty definitely does crank way up, because I went into World 5 with like 80 balloons, and now I'm down to like 40. So I'm a little bit scared kind of to keep playing this game, but I definitely need to see it through to the end because there's only 6 worlds to get to the ending of this game. So I am determined to get there, and I can't imagine that it'll take me more than a couple hours longer. So you can beat this game in like 6 to 8 hours. According to the internet, it says around 10 and a half hours. I guess it just depends on how good you are at 2D platformers, but I just recommend picking this game up either way if you don't have it. It is a phenomenal 2D platformer. Real quick, I'd just like to ask, if you're enjoying this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Thank you so much for watching. Now, if you're looking for a very short and sweet game that you're looking to just be able to beat very quickly, one game that I can highly recommend is Cotton Fantasy. Now, this is basically a side-scrolling shmup, and it is a lot of fun, and to me, What instantly got my attention about this game is the absolutely breathtaking, gorgeous visuals. This game is such a treat just to look at. The visuals in this game are absolutely amazing, such vibrant colors. Everything looks so beautiful, and the shmup gameplay is really fun as well. The boss battles are epic, and the cool thing about this game is that you don't have to really play it too seriously. It does let you just keep playing with unlimited continues, like if you were at the arcade just putting quarters after quarter in, because it definitely is difficult. But if you play it that way, I mean, anybody could beat it. Even my kids play these games and they enjoy them. So I highly recommend this if you're looking for a game that you can beat in less than 1 hour. And I will also recommend Gaiden Reboot, because this is a remake of the first game. So if you like this series and you want to see where it all started, Gaiden Reboot is a fantastic game to add to your collection as well. Just like Gaiden Fantasy, it is a shmup, a side-scrolling shmup. It does have nice visuals. I would say they're not quite as nice as Gaiden Fantasy, but this is a really cool game. And one thing that I love about this remake is that it lets you play the new remake version, or you can even play the original game with the original graphics, gameplay, and everything. Really doesn't play too different. Same kind of game either way, but it is cool that you can go back and play the true original version on this cartridge right here for the Nintendo Switch. Now, another very short and sweet but very difficult game is Pocky and Rocky Reshrined. Now, when I first played this game, I think I couldn't even get past the second level, and I put it down for a few months, but then I picked it up later on, and when it clicked with me, I really got into it, and I can honestly say now that this is one of the best games I have ever played. Now, this is a top-down shmup where basically you can use your shooting move, you can kind of use like a dodge, and you can kind of use like a reflector move. You know, Pocky and Rocky, they use either their tail or their fan to reflect the bullets back at the enemies. But you can beat this game in just a few hours, depending on how good or bad you are at it, because it is very, very difficult, but it is a lot of fun, and it really just feels so rewarding every time you beat a level, and especially beating the game. It really gets your adrenaline going, and you really get that sense of accomplishment from beating such a difficult game that this is. For fans of old school difficulty Super Nintendo style games, I truly cannot recommend Pocky and Rocky Reshrined enough. You need this in your Nintendo Switch collection, and if you're a busy adult, even though it is difficult, you can still knock this game out in just a few hours. So if you're looking for something on the shorter side, make sure you cop this one and play it. Pikmin 1 on the Nintendo Switch was actually my introduction to the Pikmin series, and I now am a Pikmin fan. Now, this is a game that you can beat in around 8-9 hours. It may take you a little longer if you're not that good at it, like I was not that good at it, but I think I still beat it like maybe from 10 to 12 hours, which I would still consider a short playthrough. Now, this is a strategy game where you can control these Pikmin-like, alien-like creatures, have them grab objects for you, because you play as Captain Olimar, who crash lands on a mysterious alien planet, and these Pikmin come in clutch to help you get your ship parts back so you can make it back to outer space, to your home planet, back to your family. It is a really cute, really challenging at times, but still easy enough, and a fun Nintendo exclusive that I would highly recommend playing if you haven't already. Now, the next game that I want to mention on this list is Pac-Man World Repack. Now, this may not be the best 3D platformer out there, but it still is a really solid one with that charm from kind of the late 90s, early 2000s to it. Is a really good game that you can beat in around just 6 or 7 hours, but it does get a little bit more difficult if you're trying to go for all the collectibles, so that can extend your playtime a little bit, but this still is a relatively short, sweet, and fun 3D platformer that I would highly recommend. Now, if we're gonna talk about a really good, short, and sweet beat 'em up, I'm not sure if there is a better one that I could recommend than Double Dragon Gaiden Rise of the Dragons, because this game has phenomenal beat 'em up gameplay, and you can beat the main story in like, I want to say like 2 hours. It's really short, but what gives this game a lot of replay value is that there's different routes you can take, and it also lets you choose what areas you want to go to in what order. So depending on what order you choose, you will have different final boss battles. They've also added a ton of free DLC that I need to check out because I haven't really checked it out since they added all the additional characters and content to this game, free of charge of course, but even just on the base cartridge, this game has plenty of content, plenty of unlockable characters, and you can play it like a roguelike if you want to, where when you game over, you can just choose to quit, but I think you can kind of keep those points, use them toward your next playthrough, or you can keep going with it, use them to continue. You get upgrades to your characters as you go. You can upgrade different stats, different abilities, gain different moves. It is a ton of fun and a ton of variety here, even though it is a short and sweet beat 'em up. I highly recommend this one for all my beat 'em up fans out there. And the final game on this list of short Nintendo Switch games to play when you're short on time is Mario vs. Donkey Kong. This is a remake of the GBA game, which I never played, but I have to say that I feel like this Nintendo Switch remake is kind of slept on. I think a lot of people passed on it just because it isn't a mainline Mario adventure, but it is a really, really good 2D side-scrolling puzzle platformer. It does start off pretty relatively easy, but towards the end it does ramp up the difficulty a bit, enough to make you have to use your brain a bit more at least. Really fun game, and you can beat this in around, I want to say like 5, 6, 7 hours. It can definitely take maybe a bit longer if you're going for all the collectibles and doing the post-game content. So you can kind of play this one how you like. You can beat it short and sweet, or you can do all the post-game stuff and have a blast, spending even more hours playing it. But anyway, that is it for this recommendation list of short Nintendo Switch games to play when you're short on time. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you'd hit that like button, and if you're not already, I would really appreciate it if you'd subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you all on the next one.